The night bus. It was just supposed to be a 6-hour ride. A night journey. Nothing special. Just 23 passengers, 2 rest stops, and a straight route through the mountain highway to Riverbend. But by the time the bus rolled into the terminal at Sunrise, nothing, and no one, was the same. The storm had started early that evening. Not a loud storm. Not with thunder or drama. Just the kind that rolls in quietly, fills the sky with thick, low clouds, and brings a curtain of endless rain. The kind of storm that washes the color out of the world. The driver, Harold, was on time, like always. 61 years old. Clean uniform, hands that had known 20 years of steering, and eyes that had seen enough to stop asking questions. He greeted passengers without much expression. They filed in, wet shoes tapping on the metal floor, raincoats dripping, shoulders tense. The kind of strangers you only meet on night buses, quiet, tired, and carrying far more baggage than just the one beneath their seat. The soldier boarded first, tall, lean, with the stiff, careful posture of someone who would only recently return to civilian life. He carried no luggage. Just a duffel bag with no name tag, and eyes that scanned every face like a threat assessment. Behind him came the widow, grey hair in a neat bun, clothes too formal for travel. Her purse clutched to her chest. Inside, she kept a worn photograph she would already looked at twice while waiting in line. No one asked who it was. They didn't need to. 2 rows back, a college kid slid into his seat and pulled his hoodie tight. He kept his headphones on, but the wire was unplugged. He wasn't listening to anything. He just didn't want to talk. He was pale, like someone who hadn't slept in days. Maybe weeks. A few seats behind him, a young woman with tear-stained eyes sat by the window, cradling her stomach. 7 months along, judging by her shape. Alone. No ring. No partner. Just a quiet fear in her breath that no one acknowledged but everyone noticed. And then, there was the old man. Can resting against his knee. Corduroy blazer. He looked like someone who might tell stories, but his mouth stayed shut, and his gaze never left the window. As if he was watching something outside, something only he could see. They all climbed aboard quietly, claimed their seats, and faded into silence. But it was the last passenger that no one remembered seeing board. Seat 13. At first, he was just there. A man in a dark coat, collar up, hands folded in his lap. No sound, no movement, no eye contact. He didn't sleep. He didn't blink. He just sat. Watching. The bus rolled out of the terminal at exactly रात के 10:43. The first hour passed in the quiet lull of wheels against wet asphalt. The rain had softened into a constant tapping on the windows, like fingers gently knocking. Outside, the highway was deserted, no headlights coming, no taillights fading ahead. Just fog. Trees. Darkness. The kind of darkness that feels like it's looking back at you. Inside, the passengers had sunk into their own worlds. The soldier sat stiffly, eyes fixed on the back of the seat in front of him. Every time the lightning flashed, his shoulders twitched. He was back somewhere else, somewhere far louder, far hotter. He didn't want to be. But the body remembers. The college kid kept checking his phone, even though there was no signal. He'd check his banking app, swipe it away. Check his messages. Nothing. Swipe again. Over and over, like a ritual he didn't believe in anymore. The pregnant girl stared out the window. Her hand kept drifting to her stomach, as if she could shield the baby from the world waiting at the next stop. The widow clutched her purse and whispered to it, softly, over and over. Names, half-prayers, apologies. And seat 13. The man never moved. The first strange thing happened around midnight. A sharp jolt. Like the bus hit something. Passengers jerked forward. A few gasped. What the hell was that? The college kid blurted out. The driver's voice came over the speaker, low and calm. Just a pothole. Roads slick. Nothing to worry about. But the old man in the back muttered, that wasn't no pothole. The bus kept rolling. That's when the widow spoke for the first time. You know, my husband used to drive night buses. She said it softly, not really to anyone. He told me once, The night roads remember that they have memories, and sometimes they whisper back. Nobody responded. Not really. The soldier turned away. The kid smiled nervously, but the girl in the window seat asked, "Whisper what?" The widow didn't answer. Instead, the lights above them flickered. Not a normal flicker. Long, slow fade, out. Then back in. Like someone had gently turned the dimmer switch down, and back up. No one said anything. But unease settled in. At रात के 12:17, the driver slammed the brakes. Screech. Slide. Skid. The bus came to a dead stop in the middle of the highway. Everyone was jolted forward. Someone screamed. The soldier was on his feet in a second. The driver shouted over his shoulder. Something ran across the road. What was it? Someone called. The driver didn't answer right away. Then, slowly, a girl. Small. In a dress. The college kid stood up, pale as paper. You saw a girl on the road at midnight in a storm. The soldier looked out the window. There's no one there. Exactly, the old man said. There never is. That's when the man in seat 13 spoke for the first time. She's been waiting. It wasn't just what he said, it was the way he said it. Flat. Inevitable. The kind of voice that isn't guessing. It's remembering. Silence followed. When they looked back again, seat 13 was empty. Just like that. The college kid nearly jumped out of his seat. Where the hell did he go? The driver turned on the overhead lights. The soldier checked the aisles. Even the storage compartment in the back. Nothing. He was just here, the pregnant girl said, holding her belly tight. He's always just here, the old man muttered. But he never finishes the ride. No one laughed. No one even breathed. The driver got back in his seat, said nothing, and started driving. The rest of the ride felt slower. Longer. The passengers didn't speak much, but their silence had shifted. It wasn't just quiet anymore. It was heavy. Like each one had been reminded of something they thought they would buried. The soldier broke first. I lied, he said quietly, staring straight ahead. I didn't come back for leave. I was discharged. PTSD. Nightmares. No one responded. But the air in the bus seemed to lean closer. I saw a kid die. Shot right in front of me. Couldn't save him. I see him every night. Still no answer. But the widow nodded slowly. I talk to my husband sometimes, she said. Out loud. When I know he's not really there. I think grief echoes. Maybe love does too. The college kid leaned forward, elbows on knees. I lost 50 grand gambling. I was supposed to be the smart one. I was on scholarship. Now I'm running. I'm going to tell my parents I got expelled. I don't even know if I'll have the guts to get off the bus. The pregnant girl spoke through tears. I'm 17. My parents don't know. He left as soon as I told him. I don't know if I want to keep it. I don't know if I can do this. I needed to go somewhere. The driver kept his eyes on the road, but he spoke, too. My son was 6. He loved buses. One day, I was supposed to pick him up. Took a nap. Slept too long. He walked home alone. Got hit crossing the street. Silence again. Only the wheels moving beneath them. And then, the lights went out. Everything. Gone. No ceiling lights. No dashboard lights. Not even the digital clock above. The bus was still moving, but in total darkness. A second later, a sound. Not a bang. Not a crash. A laugh. A child's laugh. Soft. Playful. But out of place in every way. The soldier stood up. Someone's messing with us. The pregnant girl whispered. Did anyone else hear that? They all had. The laugh echoed again. Closer this time. The old man spoke calmly, like someone explaining a riddle to children. She waits every year. On this route. Always the same night. Always the same road. Sometimes she gets on. Sometimes she watches from outside. But always, always she finds the one who didn't stop. And then, the driver broke. I didn't mean to, he said, shaking. She ran out. I thought she was a shadow. I didn't stop. He slammed the brakes again. The bus halted. In the headlights, the fog parted just enough to show a figure ahead. Small. Still. A child in a white dress. Not moving. Not blinking. Just watching. The driver opened the door and stepped out. The rain fell harder. But he walked. He walked straight into the fog, until they couldn't see him anymore. They waited 5 minutes. 10. The old man finally, so the soldier stepped forward, sat in the driver's seat, and started the engine. The bus moved again. This time, slowly, carefully. No one spoke. No one cried. It was the longest hour of their lives. When they reached Riverbend Station, the sky was bleeding into grey. The sun hadn't yet risen, but the dark was lifting. One by one, they stepped off. Lighter, somehow. Not because the journey was over, but because it had changed them. The college kid deleted the app. The pregnant girl made a call. She smiled when it connected. The soldier looked up at the clouds and whispered something only he needed to hear. The widow kissed her husband's photo and said goodbye, finally meaning it. The old man nodded once, as if to someone waiting at the curb. And the bus. It rolled back out again, empty, except for one thing. In seat 13. A small, muddy shoe. Still wet. Still warm. And somewhere in the fog behind them, a little girl laughed, stood, took his can, and said, "He's not coming back."